Hi, this is Sid. Radio City 91.1 FM లో మనం entire country's heartthrob, the king of Kotha. And we have Aishwarya here. Welcome you all. Welcome you both. Honestly, ఇద్దరికి biggest fan. I mean, I've seen your work all these years, and it's a pleasure meeting you
Same
today.
here. Thank you.
So I have a conspiracy that the whole world is putting you behind.
Okay.
2018 Mahanati vintage look. Then దాని తర్వాత కురు వింటేజ్ లుక్
that conspiracy.
I hope so. That's where I'm getting at. దాని తర్వాత మళ్ళీ సీతారామం కైండ్ ఆఫ్ 60s కి వచ్చినాం. And again we have a kind of vintage look
80s, 90s. Huh?
So is the world, the entire universe conspiring behind you, or is it a conscious decision?
I only wear modern clothes for promotions. My next 2-hour period, no 3-hour period, and I'm dying to do something modern.
And
yeah. You know what? Also, I think when I first started out, I had this very urban tag. So I think when these kind of films came to me, I really jumped at it. Plus, I'm a huge sucker for anything vintage, anything period. I love, older architecture. I love older cars. I love older movies. I think I'm an old soul. Where my father is the exact opposite. He wants to know what's happening in 2050 also. I think he'll be ready for that.
So you catering to the older audience,
Yeah.
and him catering to the
Like
new ones, and he's covering it all.
His last movie, he's playing a gamer. Like I'm doing some 1960s movie.
So how does that reflect for the audience who are looking up to you, and do they look at you when you go back into 40 years, and I mean sometime later in the years you settle down and you are retired?
Yeah.
What sort of image that you want to leave the people with behind?
I want to leave behind the best filmography of any actor. This is something I strive towards every day. I think I've done good till now. See, irrespective of the movies doing great box office or critical or whatever, I'm like, because some of my movies have found love later, but they've never been chosen for some other motive, not to become a star or not to make money or something. I've always tried to hero my films. So I think when I look back one day at my career, it should have the best filmography, and I want my films to outlive me.
Wonderful. So Aishwarya garu, Ammu కావచ్చు, క్రిస్టఫర్ కావచ్చు, and PS2, in అన్ని మూవీస్లో you don't just there for the glamour, you are there to change the narrative of the story. They have come your way. So what goes into choosing the story for your movies that you're working on?
I always listen to I don't listen to it as an actor. I listen to it as the audience who's going to watch that film. And if I find it entertaining, if I find it engaging from scene to scene, if I find the female character for which I'm approached well written, I obviously choose it. And then it's obviously who the director is, who's doing the production, everything, because it matters. For a film like Kotha, it's a scale that makes a film so beautiful. And if they didn't invest so much money, effort and time into it, it wouldn't have become what it is today. So everything matters. I'll see if every component that makes the film what it is supposed to be on paper, translate that to screen. Then sometimes I've not chosen the film also if all the components are not there. But
So ఈ మూవీ ట్రైలర్లో చూపించిన మ్యాన్ ఇస్ సంబడి హూ టేక్స్ హిస్ లవ్ టు ద గ్రేవ్.
yeah.
మీ లైఫ్లో లవ్ని గ్రేవ్ దాకా తీసుకుపోయే పర్సన్ ఎవరు, వెదర్ ఇట్స్ పేరెంట్స్ ఆర్ ఫ్యామిలీ, ఫ్రెండ్స్, లవర్?
It's about the essence of what is said there. I think my mother gives the most amount of love. She sometimes gets angry. That's the only way she can show it that I'm not doing enough as a daughter.
Ground you.
Yeah, she always grounds me. But I think her love is something that I would equate in such a way that's unconditional, and she doesn't say sorry for anything that she does because it's out of love, and you're supposed to understand it.
Typical mothers. So the same thing in your life, మీ గ్రేవ్ దాకా తీసుకుపోయే లవ్ ఎవరిది?
I think when you become a parent, you kind of rediscover the meaning of love. Up until then, I love my parents to bits. I fell madly in love with my wife. I love her to bits. But when my child was born, I had never experienced that feeling, something like that in my life. Like I felt like it was a piece of me out in the world, and Like she feels like she's my beating heart. She feels like she's just an extension of all of us, and that's a very different kind of love. I think only when you're a parent you realize that. So many things, like what Aishwarya said about her mother, so much of that now makes sense to me. Like why our parents are the way they are with us, why they're so protective, why they love so unconditionally, because we can't do anything wrong in their eyes. They might scold us because society thinks we're doing something wrong, but to your parent, a child can't do any wrong. You know, it is only to protect your child from society or friends or school, whatever the setting is, social settings. We condition them to believe, oh, this is wrong, this is right. But I don't think in any parent's eyes a child can do anything wrong.
Wonderful. So this movie, within a little time of trailer, it speaks about two things. One, the love for football, and the gangster who is aspiring to look up to his father and become like one.
Right.
So in real life, in Dulquer's life, ఈ టూ ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఏవి ఎక్కువ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఉన్నాయి?
Two elements. I don't know if there's been a sports influence in my life, because I kind of grew up around my mom and my sister. So I've had very strong women influences in my life, because my dad was always busy shooting. But the one person I look up to for everything is my dad. Not just as an actor or a star, but the man he is, the father he is, the sort of, he's like the head of our families, and how people look up to him. So I think at a young age I wanted to earn respect. I wanted people to value me for me. I think all of that came from observing him. Until I became an actor and found some success, I know people, maybe even our help in the house, who would have maybe looked at me like some bratty son of my father, who now look at me in a different light. So I think those influences come from seeing him in such close quarters. So yeah, my one and only hero is my dad.
Wonderful. So another love in the movie is the wheels that you have
Of
passion
course.
for in real life. Can we know a little insight about the car, please?
So that's a Mercedes 123 series. It was a 300 turbo diesel, I think. It looks great.
Do you own it?
I don't know. We bought it for the film, actually.
So do you have thoughts of owning it after the movie?
No, I have one already. So
Wow.
my first classic car was this exact model of Mercedes. When I was young, there was a very famous film of my father's, which actually worked in Telugu also. It's called Samrajyam, where he plays Don. And throughout that movie, he has many of these Mercedes. And
Are you leaving this for somebody as a souvenir of King of Kotha?
we really struggled with this particular car. It was like a person. It was moody. There were days when it did not want to work. It was like, today's my off day, I'm not shooting. So, I mean, classic cars are very temperamental.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So మీ characters అన్ని subtle yet headstrong. Those are the images that have been set across. But in real life, మిమ్మల్ని చూసేసి you are so humble and you are playing a different person altogether. How is it to get there in front of camera and put on a different character altogether?
I enjoy doing that. I enjoy the characters that are given to me. I enjoy playing and challenging myself to see if I can play them well. One thing that I make sure of is I choose characters that are well written and strong female characters. I'm a sucker for them. Like I want to play strong female characters, because we have seen through film history where women are, like humble, cannot help themselves, need some savior to come. I want to change. Yeah, I want to change that. I want to, like, somebody who could go through different problems in life, but can stand up for themselves and do what is required on their own.
So we look at the character and it still looks rebellious.
Yeah.
You look like a rebel. So
I
what sort of
think
character?
I am a rebel.
In King of
think-
Kotha, what sort of character are you?
Tara is the name of the character. She plays Raju's love interest. They have a very interesting,
Dynamic.
because he's a gangster, she's an activist, but still sparks fly. And the thing is, she has a conflicted family situation also happening. There is pain there. She stands up for things that she believes in, and that even if a gangster rules the town, she still does that. She has hopes and aspirations, but you know, sometimes life happens, so those doesn't work out, and I cannot reveal much more about the character, but it was very, very interesting to play Tara. And the most interesting part for me was that usually you know, the time that we get to play a character or the situations that they go through are limited in time. In this film, I could play when she was like 10 years apart. I could play the same character 10 years apart. So the changes were very nice. It was very interesting for me to portray.
Wonderful. So, sir, the whole character, it's a gangster-like character, and we have seen you in couple of movies which you are rebellious and you are headstrong and all. So here, what sort of different angle that we are looking at?
He's a lot more impulsive. He doesn't live life with any sort of calculation. What he feels then and there, he'll do. He doesn't live for tomorrow. He lives like he has nothing to lose. So I find all that very interesting because I'm someone who overthinks and is always worried about the future and like, will I do the right films or will I get the right films and all this so much overthinking that I do. But he's not that guy, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. Every emotion he's going through. But also very complex, his dynamics with his family and stuff like that. But also kind of this dreaded gangster. But I don't know if it's because he's fighting for causes. I think he just grew up wanting to be a gangster, but very interesting to play these guys because you don't know these people, right? I've never met somebody like him. So I had to go with the material, go with whatever I have in terms of look and stuff, and then find that maybe rage from inside me and react unlike me and stuff. So it was a very interesting process.
So I have a bone to pick with you, sir.
Sure.
So you have set the standard so high for the other people across.
Right.
Every girl we try to hit on, they'll be like, any little 1% less than Dulquer? No. So for the people who are watching, any chance for the other people?
I think all you women should speak to my wife. She will give you a completely different picture of me. I think I'm portrayed into this amazing sort of romantic hero by my directors and my writers. But in real life, I'm a husband who's always working. I'm hardly there. And my wife puts up with a lot of that. But if there are takeaways from these characters, and if it influences, the boys to treat the women a certain way and treat them with respect and treat them and listen to them and pay attention to what they're saying or what they've done or just be there. I think that's a good thing.
Wonderful. So finally, I'm the one who got introduced to Malayalam industry as in movies, full-fledged. I used to watch here and there,
Right.
But ഞാൻ ബാംഗ്ലൂർ ഡേയ്സ് കണ്ടു മലയാളം പഠിച്ചത് that's all I know. I know every dialogue from the movie, so that's how I know. I get the references from somebody who's talking in Malayalam. This is what something is looking at. And there are a lot of other people. There are plenty of people who got introduced to the Malayalam industry and they started watching Kumbalangi Nights, all other movies. Because
Bangalore became this big gateway.
That's the beginning of it. So what is that we have in store from Dulquer Salmaan ji for people who in Telugu industry, and in Malayalam industry for across?
I think those films, right, like a Bangalore Days or an OK Kanmani or a Charlie, and all these films opened many doors for me into other industries, and where today I get to work everywhere and entertain audiences everywhere. So now, even though it's a very unique position and a unique career path, I have no reference point. I don't know how. A lot of people tell me this is not going to work in the long run. You can't have your legs in multiple boats, you'll sink. But I love the journey so much, and I love the stories I get to tell so much that I don't know if I'm going to plan it in a particular way, but wherever I find a great story, whichever language, I want to be a part of it. And I hope I can continue to keep entertaining the audience with just quality cinema wherever I work.
So Dulquer Salmaan never fails to fail the anticipation of the people, and that has been proven over and over years with the same Kings of Kotha. May this come true, and people, the box office, go mad at that. And all the very best, Andy.
Thank you so much.
For
You're so
giving me
sweet.
wonderful
You have
time.
such a nice
Thank you so
energy.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Radio City.